My name is Ajay Casey. I'm from LA, California, but I was born and I grew up in Kathmandu, Nepal. Growing up in Nepal was interesting. It's very unique. I come from a it's a big family. I was born in the same house that my dad was born in, so our family had been there for a really long time. In the house itself, when I was growing up, we had 13 of us, my grandparents, my uncle and aunts, my cousins. So, I was surrounded by family the entire time. My grandpa was a very religious man, so we observed all the religious holidays. In Nepal, Hindu is one of the most popular religion and a lot of people are Hindu. So it just becomes a way of life than actually choosing a religion. I was never given a choice. And for me, I till this day observe and celebrate those holidays. In 7th grade, my parents decided to put me into a boarding school. It is pretty common out there. Being in a boarding school allows you to grow up with a lot of people your age, teachers that could help you with your schoolwork, as well as, you could participate in a lot of extracurricular activities. And that was not available if you just stayed at home and go to school. That itself, I think, has contributed to who I am as a person today. I learned a lot during those 4 or 5 years when I was in boarding school. It was tough at times. You definitely get bullied a lot, but you learn from it. I think I've told this story to a lot of people, and how I saw it was it really didn't bother me, all the bullying aspect, as long as I saw that I wasn't the only one getting bullied. So, my friends were getting bullied, we all were getting bullied. So it's just, I think it's like a trauma bonding. That's what people tell it. I learned a lot, I made a lot of friends, and I'm friends with those people till this day, given how the infrastructures and the country as a whole is. I think going to a boarding school was definitely a privilege. In the United States, when you're growing up, you always, there's a certain standard that you gotta go to work on time, and then you gotta pay your bills, and then it's a 9 to 5 every day. Nepal doesn't have that, so it's not as fast-paced on that aspect. But for a lot of the country, most of the people are middle class or lower class. So that means that you're fighting to survive every single day, putting food on the table. Those kind of things are a reality over there, fighting every day. So in that sense, your life could take a fast-paced lifestyle.
Let's make some good tea.
My family, I think we were fortunate enough that we didn't need to adopt that lifestyle while we were there. Survival was not the main thing that we were worried about every single day. Being born and raised up in Nepal, I think that adds a lot more to who I am as a person. Seeing my parents as well as my family, we were taught to be honest, whether that means good to the people around you or not. Just be honest about whatever the situation is. And I think I adopted that to a fault sometimes.
Oh, they just left it on.
As an adult now, where I could get away with telling a lie, but it doesn't come naturally to me. The other one is respect for others. People in Nepal have, I think, a huge respect for people around you, family members and elders. So respecting them is a huge aspect of our culture, and that is something that I've carried on. I decided to come to US 10 years ago. It was back in 2014. I had just finished my high school from India, and I was thinking about the next step, and the next step was to do an undergrad program. I always had been interested in doing getting an engineering degree, particularly in computer science. At the time, I don't think so. The universities back there had the resources that was needed for you to, thrive. A lot of my friends actually moved to outside of Nepal, so They went to Australia, US, and a couple of other parts of Europe. And I think these places were chosen primarily because of the kind of universities there are, and also because of how welcoming these countries are to foreigners at the time. Nepal and US, it's really hard to find any similarities between the two, just location-wise, they're so far away from each other. How Nepal is such a small country, US is such a big country. Mount Everest, it's always been a sense of pride for all Nepalis, myself included. So many people, like you said, aspire to climb Mount Everest because they see as the epitome of human excellence, or, pushing yourself to the limit. A lot of people do get jobs and employment out of this. You come to the country and you are traveling from one place to another. That requires you to have a driver. The main one is the porters and the guides. It's usually Sherpas. You always got to look at these things from the perspective of the country itself rather than us. And by us, I mean Americans or people from the United States, because the way of life is very different. What might not look good to you could be a really great opportunity for some people out there, or what might look good to you could be a really bad thing out there. So it's all about people from that specific place and how they're impacted by it. So the misconceptions or people's perception that I want to change for the people who are here about Nepal is, first of all, it's not part of India and it's not part of China either. We're an independent country. We do share a lot of similarities between the two culture, and I think that has helped us identify ourselves uniquely. You are right, it's a poor country. A lot of people, I think, earn less than $3 a day, but there are a lot of smart people out there. A lot of my friends from Nepal who studied in Nepal and practiced doctor in Nepal are successful doctors over here. It goes with engineers as well, different artists. The country has the potential for all these brilliant minds, creative minds out there. So that's one perception that I want to change.
Love it. You like it? I like it a lot. Good choice.
It's not always a place where you don't see any talent coming out of it. It's just that the country, the government doesn't have the capacity to help these people express their talent, their expertise. So they usually come here. It's been 10 years since I moved here, and this place means a lot more than just a place where I got my education. I met my wife here. We've been together for 9 years now.
One day.
The guys already got their traditional dresses, so you won't be getting anything extra. For the ladies, we have something special. So, yeah, enjoy.
I've made a lot of friends that I think will be my lifelong friends. I feel like if I had grown somewhere else, I would have been less independent. Wouldn't be a good friend, I would say, to a lot of people, because you learn to really, appreciate the bonds and relationships when I was growing up. So I think that helped me a lot as well. I would say this is a home away from home. Also the fact that I grew up here as an adult. I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't have anybody around me, my parents or the family back home. You had to really live with those mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and suffer from those mistakes as well. All of these in culmination makes LA and US a home to me.
We're out here. Some else.
There are a lot more Nepalis than you think there are. One of the biggest attributes of a person from Nepal is that we can easily assimilate with any other culture. So within your own community or society, you'll see people who are actually from Nepal, but they've just, or they're kind of hidden in terms of like they're part of a different culture, or they're like just used to being with different groups, so they couldn't express themselves in Nepali. Definitely reach out. You can learn a lot through them. So yeah, that's what I would suggest or recommend for people. Or if you have the means to do it, go definitely travel to Nepal. It's definitely worth it.